Hey, welcome back to GenXGrownUp. I am George, and this is Bit by Bit. Today, I've got for you a whole bunch of different news stories, but let's kick it off with the biggest thing going right now on the Gamestation Go. Then we're going to jump into some stuff about Bioshock and its new movie, and then I'm going to finish it up with some news I may or may not have already given you about the Mortal Kombat Legacy Kollection. Let's get into it. It's no surprise that the first article is going to be from GenXGrownUp.com, ladies and gentlemen. John got his hands on an Atari Gamestation Go official in the box. I'm just going to click the little play button here so you can see his video. You know how John is with these kinds of videos. He is top-notch, high quality. I'm just going to let this little run, but I'll have the link down in the description of this video so that you can go to our webpage, which is just a nice little thing that'll bump up our little stats, and then you can go watch this video just like I did right here, John doing his little clever bit about the mailman. Anyway, in this, he does not actually open up the box because we're not allowed to do that yet. We've been in close talks with our friends from My Arcade, and all he can do right now is just show you the stuff that's on the box. But that's still pretty cool because it gets you, give you a list of the games and talk about the features of the system and things like that. And this is all from a already produced in his hands perspective, not guesswork or something that it might have happened or we might see this come out in a few months. No. It's actually in his hands at his house. Now, I say in his hands at his house because it's not in my hands at my house, ladies and gentlemen. Dadgummit, I really hope My Arcade sends me one of those. And, you know, if they've got an extra one, send one over to Mo too. But I'm really looking forward to this system. I think it's going to be awesome. I've talked about this already a couple of times this year here on Bit by Bit. This is episode 79, believe it or not, and I can't wait to get my hands on this device and play it. Even if they don't send me one, I'm buying one at the $180 price. Doesn't matter. This looks to be an awesome system. They have put a ton of work into it over, I don't know, probably 18 months or so, but it looks really awesome. You can see the video right here. Definitely go check it out. All right, this one kind of crept up on me a little bit from PhoenixBazaar.com. There's a game called High on Life 2 that's coming out in February of 2026. I know that's a long way off, but I wanted to talk a little bit about it here today because it's such a unique and interesting game. The original one, High on Life, is still being sold for $40 on Steam, and it's got like tons of very positive reviews, but essentially it's a first-person shooter where you and your gun make friends. Your gun is some kind of living alien form or something, and you go around in this first-person shooter world, you know, killing people, I guess, killing zombies, whatnot, but then you also get to play some retro video games that are real-world, our retro video games, like it lists one here that they've gotten the exclusive on here, NES title Bible Adventures. So that was a real video game apparently that people really played on the NES. I had never heard of it, surprisingly enough, but still, that's in this game, I guess, along with what the first High on Life game was all about, which was B movies, like classic B films. From back in, I guess, the 70s or 80s probably. They're going to include some more of those in this title as well, but it just looks like it's a lot of fun. I'm going to trust this article and its author here saying that, you know, they enjoyed the first game. They're looking forward to this game. $40, you guys know I don't usually pay top-notch first-level price for games, but that first game came out in 2022. 3 years later, it's still being sold at full price, which says something about a game on Steam. Usually, they just start to drop down and get lower and lower to where you can pick them up for $5 or so, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. I'm really looking forward to it. February 13th is supposed to be the release date at this point. It's going to be on Xbox Game Pass, and I already have it on my wish list in Steam, which it should come out on that same day, I suppose. But yeah, High on Life 2, go grab your alien buddy gun and play some retro video games. All right, here's an article from notebookcheck.com that I mentioned in my preview. Netflix is doing a Bioshock movie. That's probably no surprise to a lot of you gaming fans out there. Everybody has wanted a Bioshock movie pretty much from the time it was released in 2007. Well, Netflix finally gave the green light, and it's in development. However, there's a little bit of bad news on this. Down here in the article, they talk about, and I can't find it right now, but there's a whole bunch of stuff here just giving you the backstory of Bioshock. If you're a Bioshock fan, I don't think you really need it, but it was first announced in 2022 as a Netflix with Francis Lawrence, who's the guy behind The Hunger Games and I Am Legend, and then the screenwriter who's on board with this, Michael Green, he also did Logan, which was another really great film. The problem is here it is, the film's budget has been significantly reduced, so the scope of the movie is gonna not be this big spectacle blockbuster thing, but an intimate personal story, they're saying. I love Bioshock. I really wish they would have given it a ton of money. I don't know why they didn't. Anyway, the other part is that it's going to get released much, much later than we had hoped for because Lawrence, he's actually in the middle of the next Hunger Games movie, Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping, which is slated for a November 20th, 2026 release, so next year even, not this November, which means Bioshock's probably not going to get to start even filming until late 2026 or early 2027. No way to know a release date, but I don't think we're going to get this until at least probably the fall of 2027. Okay, guys, I've got a little bit of serious news here from TimeExtension.com. Sega initiated through a tip to the London police force a raid for a guy who had a bunch of their dev kits for Nintendo systems, not Sega systems. All the details are here in the article. We've also got some stuff on X or Twitter, whatever, from the Video Game Preservation Museum, who were in talks with the guy who owned all the dev kits to purchase them so that they could preserve the games and unreleased stuff on these dev kits for all time. Yeah, that's their whole mission, is to preserve video games for us, and they do a great job of it. The thing that really gets me is, according to this article and a few others that I read on the subject, this guy bought these dev kits from a sale at Sega when an office was closing. He paid them £10,000 for these damn dev kits, and then the same company he bought them from sicked the police on him for a damn raid. This is starting to get really scary right now. We had the guy a while back, I talked to you in Bit by Bit, who had, had the police sent over to his house because he was selling like a retro handheld console or something like that. Now this is happening in London. This is just getting worse and worse for people who are trying to preserve old games and game history, and it also flies in the face of, do we really own the game, or are we just paying for a license to use it while they think it's okay for us to use it? I don't know. I know I'm getting really hot on this subject, but this does bother me a lot. The Video Game Preservation Museum has launched a GoFundMe page. You can find the link in this article, which again, as always, I will have a link to this article down in the description of the video. Please go check this out. There's the GoFundMe link is right here. And then they've got some other articles and everything. I don't know. Yeah, you can see my cursor on the screen, so that's good. I wasn't sure about that, but please, if you can help, go help. I'm going to. This individual spent $10,000, and then the company he spent that money with sicked the police on him. This is bullshit. Okay, here's some Mortal Kombat news from, what is this, pushsquare.com? That's a very unique name. I like that symbol. That's really clever. Anyway, I wasn't sure if I've already told you guys this or not. I think I talked to you about the full games list of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Kollection release from Digital Eclipse, but now we have a date, an official date October 30th, this is going to come out in digital form on all the different platforms that we've talked about before. The PlayStations, the Xboxes, Steam, everywhere. This thing is coming out. If you want a physical copy, you're not going to get that until December. Let's see. Yeah, December 12th, it looks like, is when you'll get that. They've got a video clip here. That's really nice. We've already seen this final full games list, but just in case I hadn't given you guys the official release date, I wanted to go ahead and tell you about it here because I found like 60 articles over the last 2 or 3 days that were talking about this release date. So I was like, well, maybe I didn't have the release date before and I didn't get a chance to tell you guys about it. But here are the final full list of games. Like we said, this is from Digital Eclipse. Super great company behind the Atari 50 and the Lamansoft thing and Karateka and a whole bunch of other of those awesome collections that they do. I can't wait to get a hold of this thing on October 30th. I'm sure that John will absolutely do some videos here on the channel. Make sure you check those out when it comes around. This looks to be a blast, and I think it's going to be awesome. All right, there you guys have it. 5 more articles for you to go check out here from Bit by Bit. Definitely some cool stuff on that Gamestation Go. Absolutely go watch John's video on that if you haven't already. It's got a whole bunch of views. I wanted to get a whole bunch more because we have really had close ties on this project with My Arcade, and we definitely want to see it succeed, and we think it should, and we believe it will. Now, as far as the time extension article on that poor guy on those Nintendo dev kits that Sega sent the police on him, please go help him with GoFundMe if you can. But if you can't and you still want to help out retro gaming in some way, shape, or form, jump over to our Patreon page. Patreon.com/GenXGrownUp or GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon. Just join us for $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever it is that you can afford. We greatly appreciate it. Help keeps the lights here going at GenXGrownUp, and it makes sure that we can keep bringing you this awesome content that we love to produce and you seem to enjoy watching. So that's it for now. I will absolutely see you guys next time. Bye-bye. That's going to do it for the news making headlines in the gaming world right now. I am George, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep on bringing you the news bit by bit.